Brandon?
It's just a tour I didn't need to take.
Good evening and welcome to the North Bend City Council regular session of Tuesday, August 9th, 2022 at 7 p.m. at the council chambers in North Bend, Oregon. Please rise and join me with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. Both here and out there in the cyberspace. Second thing on the agenda we have tonight is the consent calendar. Are there anything on the consent calendar that anyone needs to pull or discuss, or if not, I will ask for approval of the consent calendar as presented.
I'll make a motion we approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second,
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approve the consent calendar. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have public comment. We have 3 public comments. We have a remote public comment that needs to be read into the record, and I'll go ahead and do that first. This one is from Ken Bonetti. It is a urgent acceptance to offer to install memorial park bench in City Park. And it says August 6th, 2022. Dear members of the North Bend City Council, it has come to my attention that a woman who has recently lost her young son would like to dedicate a memorial park bench in his name to a North Bend City Park. Typically, those wishing to make contributions cover costs involved. I understand the council decision on this project was recently put off until a parks master plan can be developed by the North Bend Parks Advisory Committee and approved by City Council. I also understand the Parks Advisory Committee has not yet met this year. That suggests a decision on the master plan, and by default, this simple matter may be very long way off. Find a mother's offer to be very generous and feel a timely approval and implementation of the project would demonstrate a degree of compassion for the suffering that follows such a tragic loss, as well as gratitude. A simple project as this, which would be free of cost to the city, should not await the development of a full-blown park master plan in order to move forward. A long delay, on the other hand, might suggest the city leaders care more about bureaucratic process than seems unnecessary with respect to such a simple matter than for a woman and her desire to publicly memorialize her tragically lost son. I, for one, would like my representatives to be sensitive and caring with respect to such personal and painful matters affecting their constituents. Therefore, I strongly urge you to refer this matter to the Parks Committee so they can take up this matter at their next meeting and quickly accept this mother's generous offer without further delay, and with an expression of condolence for her loss and gratitude for this most gracious and heartfelt offer. Sincerely, Ken Bonetti. Okay, next we have Larry Ramsdale. You want to come up, Larry, or?
Sure.
I basically come here to thank all you people for getting Hamilton cleaned off, finally. And I speak for the people in the place where I live, plus the whole street on the other side as well as on the Hamilton side. We've had nothing but total chaos when all those campers decided to move in on it and take advantage of, especially the old people. made them where they were scared to go out of their places to walk their dogs or anything else. And with them gone, they're able to go back out and be human beings again. And they also thank me, that thank you, that you guys did do something that is very, very, it needed to be done. And I'm, I don't know what you would call it, appreciated for what you guys do. I understand there's so many laws against so much stuff that it's really hard to working around them to make things work. But I just feel that you guys, if you got we all to get together, I think that we all can stop this chaos from happening now or any other time around, especially in North Bend. North Bend used to be one of the cleanest towns anywhere around here. I remember it back, you would never even find a piece of paper blowing around in the street. Now we got sewage being dumped, garbage thrown everywhere. And we have people that don't care. They just don't care at all. I've been here for 5 years in this town, but I've been around here since 1949. And I'll tell you, I've been through the whole state. North Bend used to be one of the cleanest there ever was. And I just hope and pray to God that we can get it back there again. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Larry.
Can we ask him a question?
Now's not really not the time for discussion.
Thank you. Just a question.
Next we have Natalie Ranker.
Good evening. I'm Natalie Ranker, 414 Simpson Avenue, North Bend. I'd like to comment on what is happening around the psilocybin study. It seems that we just automatically closed the ability for anyone to even conduct a study. I never got the impression that this was going to be a manufacturing place that would be distributing to our young people or anything else. And I think there are good things to be learned. There are problems with PTSD that are being solved with psilocybin. I think by just blanketly saying, no, we will not allow it, it just does not give people the opportunity to delve into a study that might be beneficial. And it just seems to me that that was the wrong way to go about it. But it is what it is, and I guess it will be up to the voters to and hopefully they will read it the right way though. So we'll just see what happens there. Also regarding the park bench, I think that it would have been appropriate for the Parks Commission to have worked on it, to have voted on it. I don't think I may be wrong, but I don't think we've had a Parks meeting this whole year. And I used to be on the Parks Commission. I'm just wondering what is happening there. I have no idea, but it seems like our Parks Commission is kind of falling by the wayside. So maybe we need to look into that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that completes our public comment.
See that sign up sheet.
I don't think you can at this point. So, yeah, we can't do it the same. If you have any questions, you can either talk to the city administrator after the meeting, and he will address whatever you need.
Looking for that down there, in the chair of the flag.
Okay,
I don't really have a question in three minutes, so I'll just go on the flag.
Need to go to number 4, sir.
okay, yeah, I need to, I'm sorry, I just need to move on with the agenda here. Next, we have is Ordinance 2060, which is I need to bring this to ordinance 2060 declaring the prohibition of psilocybin manufacturers and psilocybin service center operators within the jurisdiction of the city of North Bend, Oregon. The council on July 26th did a first and second reading by title only. I now entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 2060.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 2060.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance 2060. Is there any discussion?
I would say that yes, of course, it's up to the voters, but I think if the medical community sees potential for treatment of people with things like PTSD and anxiety and depression, things that are hard to treat, and that there's a promise of some medical breakthroughs here, evidently, because there's been research done. I think it's worth waiting and seeing what happens. We know that this would be inpatient treatment and not for sale, for distribution, to pick up and go with it. So I think that's just my comment.
Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna have to do a poll here. Counselor Slater, how are you on the ordinance?
For the ordinance.
Counselor Nordoff,
Against the ordinance?
Counselor Gall,
For the ordinance.
Counselor Garbudden,
For the ordinance.
and I too am for the ordinance. It passes 4-1. Yeah. Next, we have a public hearing on case number AMD 1-22 sign code amendments. I will now open a public hearing held for the purpose of receiving public input and considering whether the North Bend City of North Bend shall approve case number AMD 1-22 and adopt findings by ordinance. Do any of the members of the city council wish to recuse themselves or declare a conflict of interest?
No.
Tonight's sequence of events is as follows. A, staff presentation. B, public comment. C, close the public testimony portion of the hearing. D, council discussion and questions. E, close the hearing. F, deliberate to a decision. The city council will now hear from staff report from city planner.
Good evening, council.
Good.
So we talked about this yesterday during work session, and the ultimate intent of these amendments is to bring our sign code into a content neutral format, which would be in line with both state and federal laws requiring that the city has such. And so we are trying to maintain as much of the existing sign code as possible, with the ideal being not to enact substantial changes on anyone. The Planning Commission reviewed this, considered these amendments during 2 work sessions and the initial public hearing on the matter. The criteria for text amendments is to show consistency with your comprehensive plan, as well as land use statewide planning goals, also to provide the appropriate notice. And so as you see, you have the staff report and Planning Commission's recommendation in front of you. That information is also available online with the proposed amendments. Planning Commission does find that those changes do comply with our comprehensive plan. They're in line with statewide planning goals. We provided the notice to DLCD. It was posted on the city website at City Hall, mailed to subscribers, posted on our social media page. And it was also posted in the July 1 edition of the World newspaper. And so to date, we have received no public comment, no concern or otherwise. Staff and Planning Commission finds council can approve the amendments as presented based on that staff report and Planning Commission's recommendation. Of course, council can make changes, and if you do, you'll want to ensure that you clearly specify what those changes are and provide supportive findings. But otherwise, it's staff recommendation to approve, and happy to answer any questions you all might have.
Okay, thank you. At this time, the city council will hear public testimony. Please be advised that the public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person. Is there any public comment on this matter? Nope.
Do you have to sign up? Or is this open to me?
You may speak if you so choose at this time
Do I stand
on,
up there or do I just sit?
yes, you come up, you announce your name, you state your address, and this is on the sign ordinance only. Okay.
Welcome.
Trying to control people's size is a waste of our resources and not just time. Trying to have the taxpayers pay that is not my problem. I don't want to pay my taxes. And I'm not saying this for the city to get certain size buildings on roads. Insurance isn't that right now we have to these apps and not ads in their houses. And I was saying that nothing comes up the streets and nothing sitting up there trying to control nothing. Waste of our resources and time again.
There's an open forum about the psilocybin, I'd like to speak about that as well.
Okay. Any more public comment?
Tom.
No more public comment? I will now close the public testimony portion of the hearing. Now is the time for councilors to discuss this matter. Does any member of the council wish to ask any further questions of tonight's speakers, including staff? Or does any councilor wish to comment on this agenda item? Please be advised that questions or comments are limited to 3 minutes per councilor. Yeah.
Yeah, I just say, scanning through all of that, our planning commission did a masterful job together with our planning director to come up with this change, making it consistent with most state and federal things. It's an impressive piece, and it was nice we didn't have to do it.
You're
Okay.
here.
All right, well, now, public hearing is now closed and the city council will deliberate to a decision. There is item number 9, a recommended motion. Anybody would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, the city council finds that the proposal is consistent with the city of North Bend comprehensive plan with the applicable Oregon statewide planning goals and is content neutral and approves case number AMD 1-22 based on the findings, conclusions, and recommendations of planning commission as presented in planning commission recommendation to approve case number AMD 1-22.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that?
I just have a question. Don't we have to do the first reading, second reading, and then
No, sir, this is a public hearing.
pardon me?
It's a public hearing, so you simply would vote to actually accept and receive and adopt the findings, and then you have an ordinance coming behind it.
Hey, okay, not,
Go ahead.
not a problem. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Yeah. This brings up to ordinance 2061. Ordinance repealing and replacing in its entirety the text of chapter 18.70 NBCC. Signs to comply with state and federal laws requiring content neutral sign regulations. Madam City Planner.
Yeah, so this is simply the ordinance that is necessary to pass and adopt in order to formalize those changes that were approved with approval of the land use text amendment case. And so we would recommend a reading by title only and adoption.
Okay, I will now entertain a motion to have the first reading by title only.
I move that we have the first reading of ordinance 2061 by title only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance 2061 to be by title only. All in favor, say aye.
Any
Aye.
discussion?
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Mark.
Hello, council. Ordinance number 2061. An ordinance repealing and replacing in its entirety the text of chapter 18.70 NBCC signs to comply with state and federal laws requiring content neutral sign regulations.
Okay, I will now entertain a motion to have the second reading by title only.
I'll move that we have the second reading of 2061 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Nope, it's not. So,
Good try.
all in favor of the reading of ordinance 2061, second reading by title only, say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank Kevin, no one said.
Okay,
All right, ordinance number 2061. An ordinance repealing and replacing in its entirety the text of chapter 18.70 NBCC signs to comply with state and federal laws requiring content neutral sign regulations.
okay. I will now entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 2061.
I move to adopt ordinance number 2061.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt ordinance 61. Any discussion? Hearing none. Call for the question. All in favor to adopt ordinance 2061? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Is that a-
Oh, no, sorry.
roll call.
I do have to have it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's next.
I apologize for that. Counselor Garb-Broden, are you for or against the ordinance?
For the
Counselor Slater?
For
For
the
or against
ordinance.
it? Counselor Nordoff,
For the ordinance.
Counselor Gall,
For the ordinance.
I too am for the ordinance. Passes unanimous. Okay, number 7. This brings us to ordinance 2062 and ordinance amending ordinance 2036 regarding approval of land case numbers AMD 5-19 and ZC 1-19, Madam City Plan.
Yep, so this one is an ordinance to correct an error that back in 2020, council approved a land use case for a zone change and comprehensive plan map amendment. And it's just recently been brought to my attention that the ordinance that was adopted, while the application and the record all points to the fact that 4 parcels were part of this zone change, one of those was inadvertently left out of the description on the adopted ordinance. And so just here tonight to get that cleaned up and resolved so that does not cause a problem for the developers.
Okay, thank you. I will now entertain a motion to have first reading by title only.
I'll move that we have the first reading of ordinance 2062 by title only.
Second.
A motion and a second to have the first reading by title only. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, ordinance number 2062 and ordinance amending ordinance number 2036 regarding approval of land use case numbers AMD 5-19 and ZC 1-19.
Okay. I would like, can I'd like to entertain a motion to have the second reading of ordinance 2062 by title only.
I'll move that we have the second reading of ordinance 2062 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have the second reading by ordinance 2062 by title only. And you're gonna have to control your children. Just leave them.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the second reading by title only, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Ordinance number 2062 and ordinance amending ordinance number 2036 regarding approval of land use case numbers AMD 5-19 and ZC 1-19.
Okay, I will now move to adopt ordinance 2062.
No, I'll make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 2062.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion on 2062? Okay, Counselor Garbo, how do you stand on the ordinance?
Or the ordinance.
Counselor Slater,
For the ordinance.
Counselor Nordoff,
For the ordinance,
Counselor Gall,
For the ordinance.
and I too am for the ordinance. Passing the ordinance. Okay. Next, we have purchase of Safe Fleet Focus X2 body worn cameras. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. This is a staff recommendation to buy the Coben Technologies for a total of $24,105 based on last night's discussion. And so this will be 13 new Focus X2 BWCs, 2 6-bay docking stations, and 16 3-year technology service plans plus shipping. And as discussed last night, after year 2, they'll automatically go ahead and replace the technology.
Okay, any questions? We'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the purchase of Safe Fleet Focus X2 body worn cameras for however much it's listed for.
second,
$24,105.
That'll work.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next we have the city administrator's report.
I'm going to make it short and sweet. We have a huge amount of K through 12 youth programs. I distributed to you what is on the website. This is, we have a couple huge events this weekend, and we are doing phenomenal advertising promotions for all of the other events. We tell folks keep going back and checking that website almost daily because we keep updating and adding. And so we talked last night about swimming. We added last night and we just got the confirmation and contracting today. So we have contracted with Mingus Pool that'll be doing North Bend K through 12 swimming lessons, and then also open swim. So we just added that along with all of the other activities. They're all free. There's no charge. I will tell you Friday night, there's popcorn, there's funnel cakes, there's popcorn and candy, cotton candy and music and everything. It doesn't cost anything. So it's a great place to be. It's family friendly. We'll have security out there. So everybody bring their family and friends. There's also a shuttle running, I believe from Pony Village Mall, if I'm not mistaken. So be cognizant of parking. That's what we ask everybody. Enjoy it, but be cognizant of parking. So it's a residential area. That concludes my city administrator's report.
Okay, do we have any committee meetings? Not aware of any. Council comments. Councilor Slater.
Well, I may be longer than his report.
Okay,
Just ramble. I just want to talk about city council a little bit and the things that we get to impact, the things we get to do and what you're involved in part. I mean, during the time that I've been able to serve, we did a runway extension. We built a new library. Even as we look at it, it's still the new library from our focus. Senior center, we got the community center, put together an urban renewal plan and a waterfront plan, which are started to be worked in and are being worked extensively now. The facade program is doing some great things going on. You did the streetscape downtown. It went, that makes it look very good. Grant Circle was part of that thing. Lincoln Square with our Parks Department was part of what went on that way. Probably the gem of that to date is the relationship we have with LTOB. We are a partner with them and they have stepped up strong and are making the Liberty Theater a real gem, not only for now, but into the future. And that's part of what you get involved with city council wise doing that. And I'd also like to mention that, you know, there's fun that's involved as well. Because I can recall that we were going through Drain in the 80s and they put up some really nice Christmas decks and we didn't have anything up. So we said, why can't we have? And so if we had old decorations out in the old hangar.
Oh, yeah.
And so the council went out on a Saturday and actually put new lights and whatever and all that. And that got put up for several years until we went ahead with the excellent programs that we've done since then with the Parks Department. The other thing was, why can't we have a Christmas tree lighting? So we got a tree, the Weyerhaeuser guys brought in a nice tree. We set it up over by Ingalls, got the lights on, sang some Christmas carols, and that was sort of a cool time. And it's evolved into a wonderful program as well, because that's when people get involved. In July Jubilee, we decided we needed to be involved council-wise, so we started a softball game between Coos Bay and North Bend. And in the very first one, there were actually lots of council people that were in that. Unfortunately, we lost on a Bill Greil home run, which was structurally an issue because I was center field and running out, and you know, there's no warning track, at least at that time. So as I was watching the ball coming in, suddenly I was going backwards, having run into the wall and run into the fence laying on the ground. So my point is there's a lot of things you can do, a lot of things you can be involved in. There are tough times, but you know, it's you as counselors, it's you as citizens that really make the difference in that. This November, I'll be just a little bit short of 28 years on the council, and I'm going to call that a wrap. So I won't be running for re-election. You folks out there, you've got the opportunity to get your petitions out, get your stuff done, and get it in. And I recommend it to you. And those of you that aren't going to run for council, you know, we do have working committees and we do have working pieces. The new Main Street program needs people to be part of it. We need volunteers at the visitor center. So there are plenty of ways in which you can be involved in this city. I'd urge you, don't complain, do something. So anyhow, I've been privileged to be part of that. And I thank you for that. And that's a wrap.
thank you, Tim. That was well said. Councilor Norley.
I want to commend Tim for all the years that he's devoted to the city. And it's the city's worth it. The city has really deep roots and I'm impressed. I've been here just shy of 17 years, I think. And having lived across the country, including Texas and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Indiana and Washington State, I really like it here. I think it's a very nice place. I'm glad for the things that have happened while I've been here. I think Grand Circle turned out really good and it would have been a terrible parking lot And if we can have the Christmas tree there, I think that's gonna be perfect.
That was
not a
a unanimous vote, by the way.
It's gonna look really good there. And
Yeah.
the football team that got their state championship photo there, that spoke volumes. I thought that was neat. I'm very happy to see a mural going up on the Oddfellows building. So
Thanks, yeah.
All right,
that's exciting.
thank you. Counselor Dahl.
Well, I mean, that was quite a statement of Tim's there because, you know, the majority of the time I was in the fire department for 19 years. Tim was on council or mayor or something, and so was my father. So Tim and my roots go way back. So kind of sad to see, but I get it. We're not always very popular, so I get it. But I want to thank the city staff, police, fire, city administrator for basically cleaning our streets up. You know, I know it's, I know there's somebody not very happy about it, but we are. So great job. And then right here, what people don't realize is our planning commission went through most of this stuff. I could call it something else, stuff, and made our job really easy the last 2 nights. So kudos to the planning commission for pulling that sign deal off. And I know they do a lot of stuff that nobody sees, but I seen that. So thank you. That's all I got.
Counselor Governor. I just have to follow up on City Administrator Milleriron's comment about the events this weekend. You know, the bowling camps on Sundays and Wednesdays. Youth from 5 to 18. You know, it's a great thing. It's free meal, free shoe rentals, a lot of bowling for kids. Mark takes really good care of the kids and the families down there. The 12th movie in the park. They're gonna have cars, popcorn, snack shack, magic show, and more. And then my favorite's gonna be the August 13th Big Rig Bash Festival. Because there's gonna be all kinds of trucks and pieces of heavy equipment and just lots going on there for the small fry to like enjoy themselves, honk the horn. Have some good times there.
If we don't need traffic lights in North Bend, I'm driving with turn them.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I don't think it'll make it. And then also there's the swimming lessons, you know, on August 15th, 19th, 22nd, and 26th at Mingus Park. And a free swim on the 15th, 19th, 22nd, and 26th at 8:45 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Mingus Park. And just like I say, we're constantly trying to find more and more for our kids to do. So that's all I really have. We do have other business. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. We have pool painting.
Pool painting.
Yes, sir. So this was brought to the council last night. This is a other business added, and so we have a revised bid. As you recall, back when the initial phases were being done, we tossed out one because at the time they basically had to bid high because they weren't able to find any painting contractors. And so West Coast has obtained one, and so we're asking for the expenditure of $13,750, utilizing Acacia Painting to get the pool painted.
You got the inside the pool?
Inside the pool.
Okay, so the pool itself.
The pool itself.
All right, so guess I need to entertain a motion.
I'll move that we give the award to contract. Does it actually go to the West Coast or?
Yes, it goes to West Coast Contracting, and then it's their subcontractor who they secured the bid to.
Yeah, so I make a motion, we award the bid the paint, the inside of the pool, to West Coast Contractors for $13,750.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second and another second.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, we stand adjourned.